Well, it's time now to do a discussion of a topic that makes me cry a little bit whenever I think about it. It's the evilest thing I've ever heard of. I actually caught on to this after speaking to mothers who had vaccine-damaged kids, and I saw the side effects of vaccine damage with my own eyes. This is about the government forcing our children to be injected with vaccines. Pedophilia in the Catholic Church is nothing compared to this. This involves harm done to every single one of our children by the pharmaceutical industry. What evil people are doing with vaccines is possibly the most disgusting crime I've ever heard of. Kids today are getting injected with heaps of vaccines, much more than what they were giving to kids in the 80s, and it's leading to problems like autism, Asperger's and ADD. It's making the kids' immune systems not work properly, and as a result they get sick easier and more often. The vaccines are actually even giving the kids the disease they're supposed to be preventing. The average doctor doesn't even know about this. They just follow their orders. And the truth is actually being hidden from us. Mainstream television is not allowed to report on this. They have orders originating from these criminals which say that they can only report on things that are pro-vaccine. They report lies which they think are true. Hence the Project TV show reporting that vaccines do not cause autism when there are many doctors, experiments and scientists proving that they do cause autism. This is why Channel 31 is not going to be on TV next year. It's being made into an internet-only station, which will cut its viewership by heaps. Channel 31 is independent media, and doesn't have to follow rules like the way ABC, SBS or Channel 9 does. It's got freedom as to what it can put on air. These major stations are actually not allowed to report any news that might stop people from taking their vaccines. And around the world, many community TV stations or public access stations are actually being cancelled. You know, this vaccine crime is actually so epically evil that many people can't even believe it's happening. Now, you might be wondering why anyone would want to do this to our kids. Well, it's good for business. More vaccines sold equals more money for Big Pharma. And I've got a message for the sick criminals who are doing this. We outnumber you epically. It's only a matter of time before you professional white-collar criminals get caught. Jim Carrey, Robert De Niro, Donald Trump, Dr. Ben Carson, Jenny McCarthy, Kirstie Alley, Charlie Sheen, Pauline Hanson, Rob Schneider, Erin Brockovich, Bill Maher, and many others are all anti-vaccine. Sorry to freak you out, but this information must be made known. Protest any forced vaccination laws. Now, let's see what David Icke has to say about this issue. And you also cover vaccines in your lectures?
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the staggering things for me in Australia is the way they have been allowed to impose if you don't vaccinate your kids according to the government schedule, which is what? It's the big pharmaceutical cartel schedule, then you don't get benefits. And this is forcing people, and there's one word for it, no other word for it. Fascism is forcing people in desperate need for help through benefits to, against their will, have their children's immune system gone to war with this vaccination schedule.
This is a no jab, no pay.
Yes, exactly. And of course, what's happening now is in California, they're bringing in laws that never mind no benefits, you will have your children vaccinated. Why is this?
So they're bringing the same thing in California?
Yeah, but even a step beyond. It's not to do with benefits, it's that you will do it. Now,
so everyone just has to do it?
Yeah, or face legal consequences. Now, why is this happening? Because more and more the consequences of vaccines, what's in vaccines, what it does to still emerging immune systems is coming more and more to light. People are more and more questioning it and making the decision from free choice, I'm not having my child vaccinated with this shite. And so to respond to that, instead of saying, well, fair enough, it's a free world, the imposition is being brought in. If people were still buying in the same numbers vaccines, they wouldn't be bringing imposition in. There'd be no need for it.
They wouldn't need to, yeah.
But that's why they're doing it.
And I've heard this thing about the Amish, how they don't vaccinate, but then I also hear apparently that they do vaccinate. Do you know anything about that?
Well, in terms of vaccination, there's a fella over there, my son, Jamie. He's a massive, strapping 20-odd-year-old. And he has never had a vaccine. Never, ever vaccinated. Yeah. And he and my grandchildren have never been vaccinated, right? They've been going to school with extraordinary records of attendance without illness, while all their vaccinated mates have a much lower attendance record because they're off through illness. And I say this, you know, when people say, well, if you let your child go to school unvaccinated, what about my children that have been vaccinated? And you go, well, hold on, they've been vaccinated, haven't they? Mm. So they're all right, haven't they?
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, exactly. Why do people, kids in epidemics, why do vaccinated kids get what they've been vaccinated against and non-vaccinated people don't get it? Because it's nothing to do. You know what non-vaccinated people have? They have an immune system on fire because it's been allowed to develop as it should. What you've got, look at it. You've got this absolute tidal wave of toxicity being systematically injected into a still emerging immune system, still developing immune systems. They're never going to be the same as they could be ever again because of it.
Yeah, well, I heard a story once about in a hospital ward, I think for one of those children's diseases, maybe the one that's real popular, maybe chickenpox or something like that, and someone walked over to it and said, oh, I'm surprised all these kids didn't get vaccinated. And the nurse said, no, most of these kids actually have been vaccinated for it, yet they've got the disease that they're supposedly supposed to be protected from. So the question is the vaccine just giving them the disease?
Well, yes. I mean, there are a number of people who've worked in the vaccine industry, doctors, etc., who've come out, whistleblowers they're called, and said actually vaccines are not protecting people from disease; they're giving people disease, and it's a complete con. I mean, where is this coming from? It's coming from the pharmaceutical industry, one of the most corrupt and disreputable and disgusting and evil cartels on the planet. I mean, it even gives the biotech industry a run for its money, and that's saying something. So this is where this is coming from. And even if it's beyond this, but even if you take just finance, does the pharmaceutical industry make money from people being well or people being sick? Their worst nightmare is a healthy world. Because we won't be buying the, well, I won't anyway, but they won't be buying the toxicity and poisons that masquerade as healthcare.